everyone. It is Thursday, June 8th, 2023, and we are with a solo artist from Portumna, Galway, from Ireland. His name is Pmad. He goes by the name of Paul Dillon. That's his birth name. And we are pretty happy that he's here. He goes by Pmad the band, actually. So, following a path of introspection with a unique view of the world and what we are doing to ourselves and the planet. And with medicine, wants us to believe in ourselves, and hope is a medicine and is within. And Paul and bands, the Suicidal Dufflecoats, to the greeting, and now to Pmad. So, Pmad, can you give us a little bit of a background of who you are and what got you into music?
Yeah, and sure. Pmad was always there, I suppose, because it's actually for the table quizzes in years to come. It's Paul, Martin, Anthony, Dillon. So that's how I came up with Pmad. And to call it the band was when I went along and you go through in Wikipedia what Pmad is, it's not so good. So you couldn't get the name. So to have the same titles all over the socials, it was Pmad the band. And we're in a band, The Greeting, as well, which will start releasing music in July and August this year, which is a bit more grungy and things like that. So Pmad was set up to make all the mistakes, do all the wrong things in the world, and find out what not to do when the Greeting band goes on the road. And it's sort of got legs of its own. Pmad, it's not for everyone, but it's found its niche of a niche of a niche of a niche somewhere of a niche. Yes. So that's basically. But yeah, sure. I've always been playing music, messing around, doing silly things in different bands. The Suicidal Dufflecoats, and we all fell out and then got back together again and called it the Return of the Suicidal Dufflecoats. And Asher, you're always recording, and technology is so good now. COVID gave us the time to piece it all, the jigsaw together, and with wonderful Liam Martin, who is in The Greeting with me, brilliant producer in Germany, Dominic in Protonaut Studios, and mixing and mastering there in Mexico with Pepe in Elith Mastering Studios. I think, yeah, all pieced together, and this is where you are now. Yeah, Pmad.
Excellent. Yes. What are you thinking is the genre that you like when you want us to start off with the genre? Oh, my cat.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I wanted to make music I'd like to listen to. So I love throwing Pmad CDs into the car and the Jeep or whatever it is and going off and turning it up loud and enjoy it. So that was the plan. So what I do like then, of course, is the 80s music. But Joy Division, New Order, Sisters of Mercy, The Cure, The Smiths, what isn't there like? Then a bit more modern with rap. Love Public Enemy, Ice Cube, that sort of style. And then metal, God, yeah, and I'd have a soft spot for other things, a little softer stuff. Tears for Fears, Howard Jones, Nick Kershaw, electronic. So wide berth, and then maybe that's why people are hearing so many different influences, because Pixies, Dinosaur Jr., Wedding Present, Dead. Gee, I love music, So if there was no Pmad, I'd be still listening to lots of fantastic music out there. So I leave it to people to decide what it is, really.
Yeah. I like how you mentioned Howard Jones, one of my favorites.
Yeah. My first gig ever, 12 years of age, got to see Howard, and it was unbelievable. I thought it was amazing. And maybe that was the spiky hair, because I went on then to the Smiths and the other bits and pieces. But the stage show with Howard Jones and Human Lib, I still reckon, is one of the best albums ever. Like, it's just classic.
Believe it or not, I actually reached out to Howard Jones to see if he could do an interview for us, but I guess, concerning probably because he's so busy and he probably gets a lot of
You catch him at the right time. You catch anyone at the right time. Yeah. They're he's doing these forever festivals and doing a lot of his own solo tours and things as well. So, and there's I've been keeping in touch. Not that I know the man or anything like that, but yes.
Tell us about the Suicidal Dufflecoats. What's that one about?
That was just a name we came up with as kids. As someone went missing in the woods not too far away from us years ago, and he used to always wear a duffel coat, and I think he went off with a bag of drugs. I don't think it was for the suicide, but that's the name we came up with. We fell out and then came out with he came back alive, he was fine. Then we came back, we fell out, and then we came back with the Return to Suicide, of course. And we had Starve the Barber. We were always good at band names. We weren't great at music, but we could come up with band names.
That's interesting. I remember how much controversy. I know if you're familiar with the band, the Bare Naked Ladies, how much controversy they went through because of the Bare Naked Ladies. I mean, like, you can't use that. You can't call yourselves that. So they're known as BNL a lot of times.
Yeah.
And then also the Dead Kennedys is another group that went through a lot of controversy because of their names and everything. And so obviously,
so what? Is my opinion, but there's a band over here as well, the girl band, the girl band, and they changed to Gilla Band. So there were a bunch of guys, but yeah, they call themselves. I suppose. Look at, it's very hard not to offend someone these days, isn't it?
Yeah, we really like the new album Iron Power, which you can order now. I love the single Fire. How did that come to be?
It's sort of part 2 from Horror, from the debut album. Just about the planet. You can deny it all you like, but the summers are getting hotter and the winters are getting colder and wetter and all the other bits and pieces, and the planet is spinning still. But it seems, I don't know, I'm not a scientist, but I know for a fact that I'm getting more of a tan than I ever did. So it's, if we don't watch out, seemingly allegedly we're all going to suffer, and I have kids and they'll have grandkids hopefully, and it won't be for me. We'll all survive because it won't happen today or tomorrow, but the planet seems to be on fire, and that's where that came out of. And they tell us a pack of lies and all the other different lines in there. And are we willing to change it? Are we happy with our home comforts? That's basically the happy part of Pmad. Is really happy, He's actually, I smile a lot, so I get it out in the music, maybe the harshness.
Yeah, I can see how music makes you happy and content with life. We gotta live your life with music. You can't live without it,
Oh, best medicine.
Yes. So your debut album, Who, Why, Where, What, which is an interesting title. And your CD single, Broken, or Who Am I in Medicine. So what's your creative process like? Do you write the lyrics first and then the music, or do you do music and then the lyrics, or do you do both, or what's your inspiration?
Actually, inspiration is all around it. I suppose I never knew it, and then I went off during COVID. The way people experiment with stuff and things, and someone said, "Geez, you got to do journaling," and then I said, "What's journaling?" And they say, "Oh, you write things down and you start to talk to yourself and things like that." I said, "Oh yeah, I've been doing that for 20 years or more. I didn't even know I was doing it." So I have books and books of lyrics, or typed texts, or Word documents of misheard lyrics and all that sort of stuff that I would say, Jesus, I was singing that all the time, and actually it was something completely different. So I have tons of lyrics. I have loads of little cuts of riffs and bass lines, and I'm a sucker for a bass line and all these different things. And then go back and sort of jigsaw them together, and then say, hold on now, I need to record this, I need to do this, I need to add this. And then, of course, we go in. My demos then become produced with Dominic, and they are what they are at the end of it. Yeah. So it's a total mix match, really. There's no sit down and say, I'm going to write a tune about whatever or climate change. It just happened to be that,
I heard from other musicians, and they say that they write from experiences. Would you say like the song Fire is written from an experience?
It's more of, I'm not sure about experience. Medicine and Broken and Down and all those ones would be more experienced based, where Fire would be sort of my thinking on the outlook of the planet, and Horror would be the same, I suppose. Mostly I'm introspective of I'm broken. I liked me medicine in the time, and I'm electric, and don't let people bring you down. I've learned all these things over life, and that's, so they'd be more the experiences in life. Maybe I'm trying to preach too much with horror and fire. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe with those as well.
Yeah, I noticed that your debut single, Who Am I, has like the skull type figure. Oh,
yeah, it was trying to make an impression early on. When you're a new artist, you want to say, and then it started taking. I've left it there. It sort of defines. Yeah, I found the skull was, no matter what shape of skin, when we were found in 1,000 years time, and they find and say, "There's my skull," and they're holding it. They're not going to say he was a good-looking man, an ugly man, or he wasn't great, or he was a bad singer. That's what you are at the end of it. When they dig you up,
yeah,
your skin is gone. It's just bones, and who am I is just bones at the end of it. So that's where that thing comes out of.
So do you feel yourself just, for an inspiration for a song, you might suddenly just wake up in the morning and say, "I got it."
Yeah, basically I do. Yeah, and my wife will be looking at me, and when I'm not doing anything else, I'm generally on the phone anyway. A lot of the time, just trying to keep up with the social media. But then I start texting, and I text myself, and "That's a new lyric, is it?" I say, "Yeah." So I'm after hearing something, or something's after just dawning on me, and me rattling around in my skull. Yeah, that's what happens. Inspiration. Yeah.
So do you feel that, is it easy to work as a solo artist than it is to actually be part of a band? Like, say you have your drummer and your keyboardist, and
yeah, everyone has an opinion in the greeting. Yeah, our band. Everyone has an opinion, and all valid, very valid. Yes, I agree. And I don't like to make waves. You won't get anything out of an enemy. So I agree. And then they're a lot smarter than me, and they're a lot better musicians than me, and they're all the bits and pieces, and they come up with good music. But it takes about 6 months to write a song and get it on. Say, right, we're going to do this with Pmad. It's no, for me, nothing is ever going to be perfect. And if you can come back in, even the Doors or Velvet Underground, or who was something else there the other day I was listening to, and it's a remastered version, and it was only out 3 or 4 years, but it was a different version, actually, and it was the remastered version. So there's always change for the great. So for me, get it out, strike while the iron is hot.
Yeah, when you start writing a song and you put the lyrics, so how many times do you think you might have changed the lyrics to one particular song because it doesn't fit or not right?
Yeah, it would be more an apostrophe, or a shortness, or lengthen it, or it's not the lyrics. I want to say what I want to say, it's just how you're going to say it, I suppose. It's more a me or them, or you or I, or just lengthen the thing. They sort of fit, and then they don't fit at all. A lot of some of my stuff, you wonder, how did he fit that in there? I don't. I suppose I want to say what I want to say, and it's going in, and we build the song around a lot of that too, then as well.
Yeah, I can respect that. That's amazing. So it's amazing how you how recorded medicine in the middle of the pandemic, and you created a collaboration with Ireland, with Zedakube Recording, Germany, Protonaut Studio, and Mexico, Elith Mastering Labs, and yet you're still in the same, like you're just in one room there, and all, like, isn't that crazy how you can do that?
Oh yeah, well that's why Pmad is here. If it was left to the old-fashioned way, or where I'd have to go to a studio, I'm Irish, so it was easy. Zedakube is our name for our label. When you go into DistroKid or whatever you're distributing, they ask you, give us a label name. So we came up with Zedakube. So that's us. And then if you had to do it the old-fashioned way and actually be in a room together physically, it wouldn't happen. It didn't happen. And now that you could, like today, you are where you are, I'm where I am, and we're in the same room, but we're not in the same room physically, but we're able to get on, So the world is a small, small place now. And yeah, so Dominic and Pepe are just brilliant, So, and you can get on a Zoom or you can get on the WhatsApp, and the rest of them say, no, that's shite, change it over, move on, get on. No, we want to scrap that. We want to add that. And it all happens near enough in real time. It's amazing. So.
Yeah. Talk about Zoom. We had a this is interesting. This is the only online band that I know about. They've never met. They were called Vox and Sticks.
Yes,
And they're
know
up in
them
the
well from
States.
Facebook. Yeah, fantastic people.
Yeah. And it's incredible. They're just I've never seen that before. How people can just say we're a whole band. We're only play online. It's amazing. So, do you feel that there was no pandemic, you wouldn't have been doing music, or do you think the pandemic kind of helped you push your way through?
It gave me time. Real life is tough. It gets
Yeah.
on. You have to do it. It happens. Tomorrow will come, and music. You'll be always listening to music, but you won't get time for that. Now I've made time. I sort of keep making time. It's like, how do you get time to play a round of golf, or do you get time to go to a match? Well, you make time for it. So now I found, it becomes your habit, your routine and things. So I make time to do it. And without the COVID, there'd be no Pmad. There wouldn't be a lot of bands out there, I'd say, without. And, it gave us time to do it. It's basically, our lives are rushed off our feet, and you get up at 5 a.m. to feed the cat, you go to work and you do the other bits and pieces, and then you come in and you want to throw your feet up and have a drink, but hey, you pick something else. So yeah, Vox and Sticks are brilliant, and not only do they not meet online, I meet them online, and the rest of it, they're absolutely fantastic. Their presence online, and they're so supportive of everyone. It's brilliant.
Oh yeah, I think that the pandemic really hit opera singers quite hard, a lot of musicians, but many of them, there's a musician by the name of Chris Mann who basically started during the pandemic online, and then you had several other people meet and do music online. So, how did you manage to get through it? Was it your music? Did you have family? Was it?
Yeah, we were lucky in this house. We get on, yeah, a wife and 2 kids, and we get on very well. Thanks for the God, yeah, and stay getting on well. Well, I think we do anyway. We do, and probably so. Yeah, look, a great encouragement from them, and yeah, look, one of those things. It was I actually quite enjoyed it. Now it was a nice break. It was when you're going helter skelter for everything, and we were blessed. We live in a lovely 5 kilometer, 2 mile zone, or whatever it is you were allowed. Where we live is absolutely amazing, So down in Portumna, it's just well worth visiting, and you have everything you need. You don't have everything. You don't have everything you need. You have everything you want. It's just brilliant.
What does your wife think of your musical career there?
She told me at the very beginning, put on your thick neck now, because you're going to get hardship from everyone. You're going to get nailed. People are going to run you down and do all. And actually, strange enough, like my mother was, if you have nothing good to say nothing. And people have been wonderful. If they liked it, they have come out and said it, thanks be to God. And if people didn't like it, which a lot of people don't, which is fair, they've said, they haven't said it to me. It's great. They just said, well done, congrats, clap in the back. So. And look, I'm not worried. Doesn't worry me. I get called a lot worse in my own house without having to go out into the streets or the internet to be called names. Don't worry about people.
Are your kids still at the age of innocence where they go around saying, "My dad's famous musician"?
No, they are at the age of innocence, but they're not that innocent to say my dad is famous. They're yeah, and they're not embarrassed by it yet either. So. It works both ways. Yeah, I know. I'm very proud of them, and I hope they're very happy with me. Yeah.
Do they have any interest in following in your footsteps in music?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. My footsteps would be more. I don't know. When we go in the car, everyone gets to pick a tune, and mine, they all go, "Ah, no, Dad, no, jeez, no." So they come on along their tunes. they're happy enough with their new modern bouncy stuff. Every generation is supposed to dislike the one before, isn't it? So, yeah, no, very good at piano and good musicians. They are actually a lot better than their daddy. Yeah.
What do you consider to be your favorite song at the moment?
At the moment, Shakers. What? There's loads of them. I go through fits and starts of hearing things back. I like Arab Strap. I was listening to there recently. I went and see them in Arab Strap. The Tale of the Urban Fox. I thought that was a brilliant tune. Then Dead I was just listening. Midnight Oil. I got back into Midnight Oil there recently, the Australian band. Just the early stuff. Talking Heads come on to me head.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So people
Good choices.
Yeah, good. Yeah, look, I could swap between. I have thousands and thousands of songs, and the MP3 is great that way. You can it just shuffles down through them all, and anything can come up. So, to what really a new song? I don't know, Jiggers. Yeah, there's so many good. Patience, there was one that came out there recently. I'd have to check up. So I'll be creating all the new followers of Pmad on Facebook. I create a playlist every week of their tunes, and there's some fantastic. There's Patience 404 from France, just brilliant music, and then C or Say from France as well. Really good. My French isn't good, but their music is very good.
Yeah. What do you say about music that makes you feel so passionate about it?
Sure, it's music. Sure, to me, music is everything. There's a song for every moment, every minute, every second of life. You know, and so no matter how you're feeling, you know, and the joy and the good, the bad of Spotify or whatever it is. I don't listen to much, but I give as much money to Spotify as they give to me, which is zero. But I still click through it, and then they put on ads, and then I switch off and put on the MP3 player. But I like to give just people plays and streams, because every stream is one closer to the millionth and whatever it is for someone else. But if I don't like that song at that moment in time, I love it tomorrow, but I mightn't like it today. I mightn't just hit the mood, so I skip on. And sometimes it's Marilyn Manson, and then it could be I'll be listening to Tom Waits for the full day. Then tomorrow or whatever it is, and you know, it's yourself, how you feel, and that's anyway. Yes, there's a song for every moment of life.
I can't believe you actually said you said Marilyn Manson there. I'm like, wow.
I'm not sure. Is that? See, again, I don't know who I insult anymore in life when I say I'm a big Marilyn Manson music fan. I don't know. I don't know the man. I don't know what he does and what people say about him or whatever it is. I like Linkin Park as well. I like.
Me too. I'm a big Linkin Park fan. Oh yeah. I was upset when Chester Bennington passed too. It's a really good music.
Yeah, and so I don't know. There's loads of. I'm not personal friends with them, and you'd be always worried. You should never meet your heroes anyway. So, they write a good tune. It's like at the moment in America or in Ireland, and they're trying to pull statues down and things like that. You can't change history. It's done. It's done. And maybe we should put a big note up and say he wrote a good tune, but he was not the nicest person in the world or whatever it was, but it was still a good tune.
Oh, I don't know, Paul. Like I like Imagine Dragons. I like
that's my son's.
Yeah. And then I would suddenly listen to Linkin Park, and then a Bee Gees tune and a Billy Joel song, and I go totally off the wall and listen to maybe a Supertramp song, or like.
Why not?
Talk about being eclectic in your music choices. I mean, wow. But yeah, I don't really.
But most people are, and they just, when it was Nirvana, I used to love Bleach and the rest of it, and then Nevermind came out, and I remember we were queuing up to get we had it pre-ordered the vinyl and the bits and pieces, and it came out, and then after about 3 weeks, they were everywhere, and it sort of got tossed to the corner. So it's like I heard them before you, and they're cool. Now everyone likes them. no, I don't like them, that sort of way. So, but we're all closet fans of some rubbish at some stage, we all, and like what you like,
So what do you? Yeah, I understand what you're talking about. So who would be your ideal musician to collaborate with? Let's say that you want to do a duet with one of your favorite musicians or a musician. Who would that be?
I don't know if they let me in the same room as them. I love Tom Waits. I think he's the greatest. I think Tom Waits is the most improving musician. I love Closing Time and I love all the early bits and pieces, but I think Bone Machine and all the way up, absolutely getting even better and better. I don't think there's any band in the world or any musician that has just kept rising. In my opinion, keeps rising. Like Hell Broke Loose, I think is one of the greatest songs ever. But then look at whoever let me in the room with them, and then after about 5 minutes, they find out who I really am, and they throw me back out. So yes, look at I love the Smiths, love the Cure, love Sisters of Mercy, Depeche Mode. Going to see Depeche Mode now next week, and
Wow.
looking forward to that. Yeah, we weren't. Unfortunately, we can't support them now because we weren't asked. But if they let us in the gate, if they let us in with a few bits and pieces, we'd go on stage and warm up the crowd if they want.
Yeah, there was some girl who literally paid $9,000 to see Taylor Swift in concert, and that's ridiculous. I like Taylor Swift, but I would never pay $9,000 for a stupid ticket for 5 hours of music. Forget it. No
I wouldn't
way.
pay it for a car. Never mind. To take it to a concert. How much music could you buy?
I don't know. I remember 20 years ago, I remember Barbara Streisand, she wanted you to pay $400 to $500 a ticket. I
Sure.
thought that was pretty extensive, but $10,000 see Taylor Swift? No, thank you. I mean, I like you, Taylor, but I prefer to
Yeah.
just watch you online. I'm not going to go unless you get me in there for free. I mean, I
And she
can't
just
believe
throws
it.
that 10,000 on top of all the other 10,000 she already has, Give the
Exactly.
10,000 to another poor person.
Yes. And I believe she makes more money touring than she does through her music. Talk about touring. Do you have a favorite venue that you like to perform in?
Favorite venue will be to be decided, to be announced. At the Hollywood Bowl, of course, if they want us, or if any of these places, Madison Square Garden, anyone wants us, we're here. You tell us, buy the tickets, and we're across, no hassle. But no. Sure, I'd love to meet people and then get out there, play to them. There's nothing favorite about anything.
Yeah. Because you want to get your music out there. You want people to listen to your single Fire. You want people to watch you perform. They want to get to know you. People want to know who Pmad is. This is Pmad,
That's the plan.
If you're gonna get into being a musician, you want people to know this musician. They want to know what makes Pmad tick. Who is Pmad? So they start asking questions and say, I'm going to be watching Pmad in concert. You want that to happen. So what do you think are the skills that you've gained that help you perform effectively as a musician?
Skills, I don't know. You're learning every day, aren't you? It's technology is absolutely the tail spinner there. You can plug in your bits and pieces, but to get the sound you want and the other different things, the old days are gone. It's a new life. So get out. It's learning and just so much. The shows you go see and the rest of it are so fake. There's so much not really happening that it's nearly backstage and things. So anyone that gives a good live show, you can buy the CD if you want to buy a record, so you want to go see the show, and if they're not as good a singer as they are in the studio or the guitar, I don't care. It's a good live show and they put their heart and soul into it. And you go see the likes of Therapy, another massive band in Ireland there, and they're back out. Hope to have tickets for them shortly as well. And 3 hours of just pure headbang. It's just brilliant music all the time, heart and soul, And then if you see them tomorrow night, it's the same, and it's brilliant, And it's just, you want to come out of a concert and say, that was good. That was good.
Oh
So
yeah,
hopefully Pmad someday will do that.
yeah. Basically, you want your fans to get something out of your music, get something out of your performance. People won't say, "Wow, did you see that Pmad perform? What an amazing musician!" Do you think the music industry is better or worse than it was 20, 30 years ago?
Sure, it's still an industry, and the very few make the money, and the very few get played every day. And it's like anything. I find the more you hear, whether you like the song or you dislike it, or you're not sure whether you like it, but if you only hear it once, it's hard to make a full call on it, and then you have to try and remember the name and all the other bits and pieces. But if you hear it consistently, like they do in the whatever A-list on NBC or whatever, I don't know, whatever channels, KEPXs or whatever they are anyway, and if it's on every day, every hour or every 2 hours, people, it just gets embedded into your head, and whether it's good or bad, you'll say, sure, it must be good, And a lot of people know nothing about music really, only they know what they like. And it's an industry, and people make money in industries, and the problem is an awful lot of people don't make money, so that I'm not sure they're in an industry. Most musicians are not in an industry. They're actually just sole traders, struggling along like little mom and pop businesses all over the world, in the hope of the dream that they crack it, So yeah, not to downgrade it at all. You do what you want, and you love it, and that's all you want. If you're in it for the money, you're going to be fairly thin. You're not going to be you're going to be fairly starved. So, and most people just do it for the love of it. And there's no more than American football or basketball, and it's a treadmill. There's always some other young guys and girls to come out along, and they can rip off and do all the other bits and pieces, and then throw them to the wayside when they get carried away with the few quid they do get, So it's sad, a lot of it. But then if there's Taylor Swift, I'm sure she's not sad.
Yeah, but Taylor Swift, I don't think has her own jacket with her name on it like you do. Pmad. Like people can be going, I want a Pmad jacket.
Oh, geez, merch all available there on the website and the rest of it.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. Wow.
He doesn't have to wear it because millions of people are wearing it for her.
I love it. Yeah, I in fact, I want to just create the name of a band and have it on my sweater too. And people say, "What's that? That's the name of my band. I can't wait to see your band one day." That'll be awesome. Hey, this is great. I love it, and I love your little background too that says Pmad. That's amazing. Wow, I love the. You have a green screen for that as well, I think. Or is that the actual background?
If I can't advertise myself, I'm not very good. I better start.
Yes,
self-promote.
That's what I like. Well, do you know there's also artificial intelligence? I've noticed that they took the first 8 seconds of "Hey Jude" by the Beatles and they put it through an AI, and it came up with a totally different melody that did this thing with creating an Amy Winehouse song. So what do you think of AI? Do you think that's going to destroy the music business, make the music business? What's your main thoughts on it?
But sure, I don't know. What is AI, first of all, and I suppose artificial intelligence, the problem is in the world, there isn't a huge amount of intelligence out in the world as it is. There probably should be more intelligent. The intelligent people are making the AI because there's not enough intelligent people in the world, or politicians and all the other people that are making, I don't know, they're not helping us in this world. But they're there and they do what they do. So look at every tool. When the Beatles went into Abbey Road, they had a 16 track and they did all the bits and pieces and they played live. And they used, that was the AI of the day. Before that, you went to see Dizzy Gillespie or Louis Armstrong and the rest of it, and they were on stage. And before that, they played music. So they used the AI of the time. It just happened to be a different form of it. And I don't think a computer, let me see, Kraftwerk is what a Kraftwerk, a load of synthesizers and great musicians. Someone has to think of it. You can put it into a computer all you like, but someone has to come up on stage and you just use the tools that are possible for the day. So if it makes the world better, I don't really mind.
She was talented, but I don't think AI is talent. I think you need humans to make it more talented.
Well, you
Like
need
the
the
same with
data at
deepfake.
the start. So you had Amy Winehouse. So it was technically AI, but it was still Amy Winehouse's talent that they just adjusted. So you still need that talent origination and the bits and pieces. It's not going to come out. You just can't just type into it and say, "Can I have a Pmad song in the form of an Amy Whitehouse?" without having to filter in these people. I want to post punk dark. I don't know what way it works, um, but it is not every cover song not some form of AI. That if anyone that's ever covered Hey Jude or Valerie or whatever it is are they not using AI because they're improving it or disimproving it or putting it through a different, so again, my point, what is AI? Just because someone's intelligence is asking the question at the end of it, isn't it?
Well, I don't know, Paul. I wouldn't want to see a deep fake version of Prince um, in concert of all new tunes that were created by an AI, and people saying, "I saw Prince in concert." No, you didn't. Then
Yeah, well,
compare
they
it to
couldn't.
someone, "Oh, I saw Prince in concert in 1980, 1990." Yes, you saw Prince in concert. But this guy over here said he saw Prince in concert just recently. What he saw was a deep fake version of Prince playing all AI versions of music. Yeah, yeah, but it was still good. It's not the same as a real person named Prince performing than an AI deep fake version of Prince. Don't you agree with me?
Yeah, oh no, but they can't say they seen Prince because anyone that's seen Prince is coming back from heaven or hell or wherever they are. It's not possible. So you can, if you were to listen to what people say and what do we say are so smart. Yeah, it's not possible. You see Prince, you can't get to see Prince again. Uh, so no matter what you say, you can come up with all the songs they like, but they'll never see Prince perform them live. So it's a what did they what did Prince change the name to a symbol or whatever it was? So it's Prince by another symbol, possibly. Yeah. So, but then do they not do some music after the people die in and we'll say we'll create. It wasn't David Bowie. I don't know who died, and they still had some unrecorded or recorded stuff, and they pieced it together. That's another form of AI because if they got the chance, they'd put out a different song possibly anyway. I don't know. It doesn't worry me. It doesn't worry me. It's the human unintelligence that worries me more than the actual artificial intelligence of a computer. It's humans believing, as you say, I seen Prince live. No, you fucking didn't. No.
Well, there are millions of fans turned up to watch Beatlemania perform. And there's an actual group out there called Night Fever, and they do all Bee Gees covers, and they not only sound like the Bee Gees, but they're dressed up like each an individual member of the Bee Gees. But people go and pay money to watch them in concert. It's not the
Oh,
same as AI than a cover band. Um, but they say AI is here to stay. So I don't know what's going to happen in the music business. Paul, you said something where you want your fans to enjoy your melodic tune and understand reality behind your lyrics, and most of all, believe in yourself. Can you explain that little quote?
yeah. Yeah, well, most of all, I suppose it's a press spiel maybe for the first part of it, as you have to do, and hope people me PMAD being melodic, I would be of a sort, yeah. But to believe in yourself is most important. Yeah, it took me a while, but you know yourself, you get the knockbacks and the other bits and pieces in life, and you do silly things, and people call you silly names, and I found out that not everyone is going to like me. Don't worry about it. Yeah, get on. Um, I take pleasure in certain. I don't go out of my way. I don't go to make enemies. I try to be friendly, and if they don't like me, that's fine. So we don't all have to be friends. We don't all have to get on. We can sit down and chat. And most people have common. There's a common likes in most of us, but the trouble is, and I find in modern day life, we end up in bubbles too much of listening to the people we do like to hear. We should be listening to the opposite opinions a lot more. And we don't have to agree. We don't have to call them all sorts of names. But you just say, okay, this is why people think this way, is because they believe that color is wrong, sex is wrong, gender is wrong, or the world is flat, or whatever it is. But it's good to hear other people's opinions, even if you disagree with them, and say, right, okay, I can quite understand some of that. And maybe it might change you a little as well, because not all your opinions are correct either. But they're your opinions. So, but anyway, yes, believe in yourself is the most important part of it all.
Yeah, you have a wonderful character and disposition about you. Excellent. I really like Irish people, actually, but the whole issue I want to know, it's that when they say, "Oh, Irish people, yeah, they like to get drunk." Is that true?
I've never gone out to get drunk. I've been drunk, yes, many times. But no, I don't think. See, the one thing we find in Ireland is, he's an Englishman, but he's very good as well. Is Mickey Flanagan, a comedian, and there was sort of, "Are you going out?" And the out is out for a pint or two, but are you going out? And next thing you come back 3 weeks later, I was out. So the one thing we don't understand is, I'm not sure about the American side of it or the rest of the world. You come out for 1 or 2 drinks, yeah. It doesn't happen in Ireland. Yeah, you go out, you're out, and if you go out on a Saturday night and you come back on Wednesday, that's okay too, So it's not just necessarily 1 drink. You might come home again that night, So drunk, I wouldn't say drunk, just like a drink.
I know. I think that arose sometime in the 70s. There was a comedian by the name of Dave Allen. He was an Irish comedian.
Oh, yeah.
And he would sit in front of the audience telling Catholic jokes about nuns and priests, and meanwhile he'd be drinking a little glass of bourbon or something, and always say, "Oh, this is bourbon, everyone," and then you have a joke about it. And I think that's what people mostly got. You mean all Irish men get drunk? I think that's where they got it from.
But you swear the rest of the world didn't actually drink either, But
yeah, like with us Canadians, they think, "Oh, you're Canadian, eh? Hey, Canadian, eh?" Like, I mean, everyone say, "Oh, you're Polish, so your women have blonde hair and blue eyes," stuff like that. So it's always a stereotype, right?
Yeah, stereotypes, yes.
Yeah. So what is your favorite and least favorite part about being a musician?
Cheers. I wouldn't say either. There's no least favorite any part. The hardest part is the promotion side of it, is making the music and doing the other bits and pieces. Being solo is great, and it does all the advantages, but you have to do all the other stuff as well, which is, don't get me wrong, people say, what's success? Success is here today talking to you. Is absolutely Pmad sitting down talking to Chris. Happy days. This is amazing. It's just getting out there and putting it out there, and the music is nearly often the easier part, because that's what you're used to, unless you're capable of doing. Whereas getting it out there and talking to people and promoting on social media and all the other different things like that's probably the hardest part. It's not dislike, because I've met some wonderful, I'd say I could turn up in nearly most countries in the world now, to Finland, to any part of America, Canada, Indonesia, Mexico, Argentina, Peru, and walk down the street or arrive at the airport, and someone that I could say hello to, can you collect me? And they would, That's the kind of friends, that I never had the opportunity before to meet, like Fox and Sticks, and then there's Superposition, and Michael Fisher there with Animal Souls, and Investigator in New Zealand, and Metro News in Indonesia. So with every disadvantage, there's an advantage, and I prefer to look on the advantages. It's hard work, yeah, but I don't have to do it either if I don't want to. Yeah, so, but I do. I decide to do it. Yeah, no one's telling me. No one's holding the gun to my head to say Pmad needs to promote his music. I could give £1,000 to someone to do some sort of job for it, but I choose to do it this way.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like, you enjoy what you're doing, and do you think you have the qualities to make a great musician? Like, what do you think, in order to be a great musician, what do you think the qualities would be?
You want to be better than me, anyway. It'd be sort of off the Lou Reed scale would be my one. You know, anything more than anything more than three chords is showing off. So yes, I would not timing and all these things. Yeah, look at technology. I don't claim to be anything. I leave if you want a good guitarist, go to Jay Mascis. You want a good bassist, go poor old Andy Rourke and the rest of it. You know, so no, I don't claim to be anything. I'm Pmad, good, bad, or indifferent. And like I said, not for everyone. Some will like, some won't. And I don't try to hide under any cloaks and things like that. You know.
Do you ever get performance anxiety or any type of anxiety when you go out to play, or how do
Actually,
you
if you
deal with
don't,
that?
actually, if you don't, it's you're not normal. Everyone should be. Every time you get in the car or every time you do anything anywhere, there's always that. It just you become. I would be disappointed if I wasn't, because it means you get too used to it. You're nearly bored with it. But meeting people beforehand and I before and after the gigs and things like that, and meeting people is the most important thing. And rubbing shoulders with people like me. If I'm in the crowd more often than I am anywhere else, you know, so I want a good show and hope they do as well. So yeah, I don't know. They're
Yeah,
all
out of
sort of cool.
what's your favorite song from Who, Why, Where,
Well,
What?
depends. Again, it's the mood I'm in or whatever it is. I was going to do something on TikTok last night or whatever, and I said, which one will I? And then I felt like Broken was the one I wanted to put on last night or whatever it was. I have a soft spot for Medicine, of course. I don't know, but who am I? Any of them, checkers. I do. Um, they're all different feels to them. As in, again, some of them come on, and I might skip on to the next one some days, and other days I'll skip the other one, and it's just how I feel. I'd find horror and fire are sort of part one, part two. Medicine and Electric on the new album are sort of part one, part two. Confession and Who Am I are sort of part one. It's sort of pieced together. I'm working on album 3 now at the minute as well. So we have my kids are giving out to me about the names of the songs. Why are you calling it that? They're not even in the words. So,
Yeah, exactly.
so I'm trying to be a bit more even. Yeah. So yeah, again, it's like your children. How would you say? And again, Pmad is music I like. I made it because I like it, and if anyone else likes it, that's fantastic. But no more than I'm on the MP3 player, and I just don't feel like that song now. I'll skip on, whether it's Tom Waits or whether it's
Mhm.
Wedding Present or Dinosaur Jr. or A House or whoever or Pmad. It's just not that song I feel like at the moment, and that's just music for you, yeah.
What do you think is the average age of people who you think your music would suit?
Um, Probably, yeah. I was just going through. There's a setting up for Fury is going to be the next song on the 4th of July. It's the next release, and I was just going through, and there's a one-page thing, sort of I think is a distro. Some company have it. And I said, "Geez, I'll put it in here," and it's very good actually. But it gives all the stats and actually says America is 25% of my audience, and they're actually 25 to 35 to 45 is basically in around the same people that are listening to this. So the young people are too smart and the older people don't care anymore. It's just, yeah. So it seems to be, this is what the stats say for Spotify, that Los Angeles and a few other cities in New York, a few other cities in America. Anyway, that's, yes, I don't know. I don't know. I have to go out there and meet them and shake their hands and say thanks very much for playing Spotify or playing Pmad.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I certainly like your music. I think it's really well done.
Good,
Um,
thank you.
Do you think titles should be short or long? Like, for instance, familiar with the Police song, um, "When the world is running down, you make the best while it's still around." That's the name of the song, actually.
Yeah, I
What
would
do you
probably
think
call
about
that
that?
just. I would call that around. Or it's the end of the world as we know it, and I
Yeah.
feel fine. Yeah, I would just call that end. Yeah, I'm. It would be. It's sort of yeah. And I know some of the titles you'd say, right? I'm not going to like this. It's like the movies or some of the title of the movie. No, that sounds like a horror. I'm not going to watch that. Or it sounds like it's rubbish. Same with some of the song titles. So for the greeting, it's coming out as "I don't think I need you" is the name of the chorus or whatever, and we shortened it to "need." It just people's what their attention span has lowered so much that one word, hopefully it'll play resonance. So that's nearly "Who am I" is the longest one I came up with. And it's still probably smaller letters than less letters than medicine. Yeah. But then
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love New Order, where again, where album 3 will probably take off, is that Temptation and a load of the Everything Has Gone Green. They're no relation whatsoever to the song. The title is not mentioned whatsoever in the songs, So
Yeah, that I thought that's what basically musicians do. They write a song, they write the lyrics, and then they write out the title, and the title is usually in the song, like "Alone," which is in the Bee Gees tune "Alone," of course. Sting has a lot of. There's one called "Whenever I Say Your Name," is
mm-hmm.
actually in the lyrics itself. But to come up with a song and put a totally different title in it that's not even in the lyrics is like that's weird,
Yeah,
you know?
I,
Like
I think
even the
all of it
song, even your song "Broke," is that even in the lyrics?
broken. Broken
Like
is
you
in the
put
lyrics. It is. It is broken. They're all in the lyrics now. I am and broken and medicine and all they're all
horror.
in it. Yeah. Horror's in it a lot. Yeah, and in the second album, Confession isn't actually in the Electric isn't. Yeah. In the third album, there'll be nearly the majority of them won't have. I have 945 and Circle done already, and they are not. They're not the lyrics. They're not in the lyrics at all. It's when you're an unsigned indie artist, you try and create as much mystique as you can, and say, right, how did you come up with that? It's another question to get asked, So
That's very classy. Yeah, it's really interesting how much time and effort you put into your lyrics and how much effort you put in the tune and melody, and then you say, okay, well, I'm gonna give it a title that's not even in the music. It's not in the lyrics. Let's see. Let's call this "The Best of Life." But Dad, "The Best of Life" isn't. Shut up.
that's
Shut
even too
up.
long for me.
You ruined the vibe.
Yeah, I have 945 is one word, and I even have it that bad. And I have what
Yeah.
is the next one? New God. It's actually going to be in the title. The song, the words are going to be in the song, but it's one word as well.
What are the social issues you care about? Like, what's your thoughts on veganism?
Oh, do whatever you want. I don't care. If don't be pushing it down my throat. Most people just get on with your life. Not everything has to be a battle. If you want to eat grass or you want to eat heroin, I don't care. Don't worry about it.
Mm.
That's your business. If you want, it's your life. I don't care. But don't be. Uh, there's laws there. Try and live by the majority of them. We all try and sneak a bend of some of the speeding ones and some of the things. Well, we didn't put on the seatbelt. That's your loss. It's going to kill you, not me. So it's this preaching and telling me that, oh, you should be a vegan or you should be this lad or that lad, and I get confused about. I'm old fashioned, I suppose, I'm not sure what pronoun. People ask me what pronoun am I. I'm just me. I'm me. Call me what you like. I don't care. But other people take huge offenses and things. So for me, be offended if you like, but get on with your life. Be happy. If you want to be a vegan and it makes you happy, happy days. I don't know what people's their opinions are anthem, but be pro whatever, or be anti whatever, but do it within the law, and don't be preaching it to me. Yeah.
What
Sorry.
would set you off?
What would set me off? I've tried. The only thing that ever gets me is self-defense. If anyone tries to hurt me or my family, that's about it. Anything words never hurt me. Never. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will ever hurt me. Doesn't matter. Yeah, nothing like that sets me off. It's. I've learned to, like I said, not everyone will like me or even care about me or anything like that. That doesn't worry me. There's 8 billion people out there in the world, so surely don't worry about it. Get on, get up, get out to bed. You know, enjoy your life. It's no point in worrying about anyone else's life because they're not worrying about yours most of the time. Yeah, nothing's look, I'm over the head. If I can let most of it over my head, and yeah, if it doesn't affect me, it doesn't worry me.
What are your thoughts on religion and Jesus Christ? What's your thought processes on the whole belief system?
Again, I'm Catholic by birth, and I suppose grew up through it, and then Irish Catholic, yeah, and nothing wrong with that, and quite proud of it. I don't go to church as often, and I could be more likely to go to hell than I am to heaven at the end of it. But again, no, religion is supposed to be there to find faith and peace and hope for the rest of the next life. But probably more people are being killed because of religion. You know, the Christianity wars or the Muslims and whoever. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Can we not just get on? I don't have to like you. You don't have to like me. And if we don't like each other, stay away from each other. If you want to go to a mosque, go to a mosque. If you want to go to a church, I feel just as happy to. I wouldn't say too many prayers, but we all say a prayer whether we are atheists or not. It's just not to a God, maybe. You will say, I wish this would happen, or I thank you for this, and you might be thanking your family, or you're thanking your God, or whatever it is. Yeah. Jesus Christ, I don't know. He didn't come back to. Yeah, I've no fault with the man. I'm sure he was brilliant, and most of his. If I don't know how we should go with religion, if people followed what they were supposed to and what was meant, and religion would be very good. But everyone, this eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth and all this other stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's no more than veganism if that's what you want to do. Again, don't push it down my throat. There's great peace in it. I find good peace in a church if I'm ever in it. But it could be, I don't know. Yeah, they're quiet in times to think.
How much difference would this world be if all 8 billion people decided to read the Bible and follow everything in it?
I don't know. Would it be any better? Would it? Because people read what they want to read, and I found that in life. You could put 2 sentences of because none of the Bible is actually telling you. Well, not none of it, but very little of it is telling you straight on. Do not pick up that stone. It's if you pick up that stone, the Lord might strike you down or whatever it is, you know. So it's all ambiguous anyway. So if anything is ambiguous, you can be sure you and me will read it differently. Now, like-minded will read it the same. Well, this is why we have religions. I presume they all read the Bible of a sort. Is the Quran or the Bible and all the other bits and pieces? Was Muhammad you know, are they all who's disciples of what God and things like that? I don't know. I don't know. That I don't think it would be any better if everyone read the Bible, because if everyone read the Bible, they wouldn't read it the same way.
I really like your answer. Really respectful towards that. What a compliment. Okay. What accomplishments do you see yourself achieving in the next 5 to 10 years?
My main one is to stay alive and get up every morning and enjoy that.
You open your eyes. That's a good.
Yeah,
that's a
get
blessing.
up and draw an old kick and hope that I'm still there. You know. After that, because I set out with no. Goals. I'm fairly ego-less of a sort, but none of us. But then I'm thick that way. Or we call us thick in Ireland, where you would, I'm competitive of a sort. That now that I've done it, I want to be the best that I can, and if that brings me to album 3, that's great. And if it brings album 4, it does. Or if I end up DJing, or if I end up sitting at the end of the bar having a drink and saying, "Oh, I wish it could have been that. I could have been a contender."
Instead of the loser. No, what does he say?
The
contender. Instead of the, was it loser? He said loser instead of the, from on the waterfront with Marlon Brando. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so
I love living by movie quotes, and sometimes sometimes music lyrics, kind of movie quotes is excellent. I like that.
Yes, I spend my life quoting different things around that it isn't my own, and people think you're smart, so it's great.
So, Paul, if someone walked up to you and said, "Hey, Pmad or Paul or Mr. Dillon, whatever, or Mr. Musician, I want to get into music. I want to be what you are, and I want to do what you do. Do you have any words of advice for me?"
Just do it. Do it. Don't be standing. If you're wasted too much time even thinking about it already, so get in there, do it. There's so much great music being made, and then there's so much great music that could be made that's not being made, and then there's so much great music that's not being produced correctly. It'd be my next step then. So get in there and do it. Get it produced and mixed. If the one thing I decided, if I was gonna, this is probably why I'm doing the PR myself and the rest of it, because I can't afford to do anything else. But to get the production right, anything you listen to on radio, it's not all a tune. It's hissing. It's well done. And Pmad isn't for everyone, and I completely understand that. But it's getting more airplay maybe than it should, because it's, as I think you've mentioned, it's well done. It's well produced. Dominic is doing a wonderful job. Pepe does a great job, and it sounds good. And it's not going high, and it's not going low, and it's not doing this and that and the other. So that would be the next bit of advice. 1, do it, and then get it well produced and mixed and mastered after that. Then.
And Super. We're going to end this podcast with Paul Dillon, aka Pmad, with the song Fire. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And Pmad and On Stage out. Boom. Okay, we're going to see everyone. Thanks for watching.
Would you like it all to burn and disappear? I was halfway to hell. I was halfway to hell and the heat got too much. I was halfway to hell and the heat got too much. But if it wasn't for the money, I'd be out of here. Why? If it wasn't for the money, I'd be out of here. Hate, hate, hate has just become the norm. Fire, 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 and all we do is mourn. All too late, all too late. Fire is rising, the fire is rising. If it wasn't for the money, I'd be out